For an undecided voter, they should vote for Connor Ratliff. They should vote for Connor Ratliff. They should vote for Connor Ratliff. For an undecided voter, they should vote for Connor Ratliff or Barack Obama.
You heard it here. You should vote for Connor Ratliff or Barack Obama.
They should vote for Connor Ratliff.
I am quoting you. Sal Gentile,
I said,
supposedly so above it all, just said, undecided voters, you should vote, undecided voters, ... You should vote for Barack Obama.
That's not
or Connor
what I
Ratliff.
said.
Well,
that's not what I said.
Let's play back the tape because I'm going to edit it into a thing that works. What I think is I don't have full information I'm not the president. I don't know all the secrets. My assumption is when Obama got inaugurated, they let him know something that led him to indicate that you could solve future crime. Otherwise, why would he have said, I'm not going to look backward?
You think the government is hiding psychic crime fighters from the American people?
I'm open to it. I hope so. Maybe.
Why couldn't I'm going to fight crimes in the future just mean not now, but whenever they occur, I will deal with
like
crimes.
a blanket amnesty, like starting now I'm going to look into crimes, but everything that previously happened. I could do that too. That also wipes away my Instagram scandal. Doesn't it?
It doesn't wipe it away. It would still
gone.
be. I don't think you're deciding unilaterally not to investigate certain crimes means that they weren't crimes that were committed. They were nonetheless crimes that were committed. You just deciding not to investigate them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair enough. You got me. I will not investigate people who took pictures of their votes and put them on the internet.
I don't think it's only up to you anyway. I think there are a number of federal agencies that would be responsible for investigating those kinds of crimes, like the FBI and so forth.
Let me just say I will make it very difficult for those agencies to do that.
Is that a threat?
No.
Yep.
It's a vague statement. Means nothing. You can't hold me to it. Power of the bully pulpit.
It wasn't that vague. You said you would make it difficult.
Yeah.
And you kind of did a thing with your eyes.
These are all cues you're picking up on. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I'll handle it. I'll deal with it.
So you're promising people that if you're elected president, you'll use the power.
Can't believe that this is what the robots cameras want to focus on.
Well, because it's important. You're implying.
Your eyes are intense. They're intense.
Oh God. Next question. We've dealt with
New
this.
scenario.
You know how I'll do it, right? I think everyone here got what I was saying, right?
More than what you were saying. I think.
Great.
Okay.
Good luck.
What are going to be your priorities in the first 100 days of a Ratliff administration?
Get rid of the deficit.
Do you have specifics?
Nope.
You should.
I agree.
What do you want to come up with some?
Nope.
Don't you think
hire the best people?
But
I'm gonna hire the 20 smartest men and women on Earth, and have them solve the problems.
So your
that's not a million miles away from what everyone else says. Don't act like that's a bullshit answer.
all right.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm gonna hire the 20 smartest, and the thing is, if they don't want to work for me, I'll be like, name your price, and we will go all in. The 20 smartest men and women on planet Earth. We'll get them from wherever, and it'll be like the Avengers. And I'll say, no one's leaving until they solve the deficit and fix like 10 other problems.
All right, I'll indulge you in this line of thinking for just a moment.
Thank you.
Who are these 20 smartest people?
How would I know that? Stephen Hawking, J.K. Rowling, who else?
Why?
What would J.K. Rowling add to your campaign?
Well, she wrote books that made everybody want to read books. How? How did she do it? No one else has been able to do it.
Do you consider literacy a large problem facing America right now?
Yeah, people can't read, but they read those books. Why not hire her? I got 20 jobs to fill. Why not throw in a couple of wild cards? Who else? Name some smart people. Like, you guys throw out some names. I don't know everybody.
Well, let's name some problems and then see if you can...
Let's name the smart people first.
Okay.
Who else is super smart? I'm willing to knock JK off the list if we get to 21 and nobody knows any smart people? Fascinating. Hypocrites.
Some say
I don't want to offer you specifics on your plans. You're the presidential candidate. I'm not going to tell you what your plans should be.
This is spiteful. You're just going to withhold it?
I'm not being spiteful.
You know the answers. Tell me. Your country needs you.
I'm a journalist. I question powers figures in power and hold them accountable. I don't help your campaign or your presidency.
Did you ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation?
I have.
Okay, well, you know the
extensively.
Prime Directive.
I do.
All right, and every now and then they have to violate it, right?
Right.
It's like something too important to happen. This is that moment.
I have no idea what that means.
Prime Directive is like we can't interfere with, like when they meet discover a new life form or civilization. They're like, no, we're here to observe. We can't interfere in their processes. That's what Sal's pulling here. He's like, no, not
It's
for
not
me.
quite the
Not my
same
turn to help. I'm
principle.
just a journalist. I'm just going to report as everything crumbles around me. I won't name 3 smart people.
All right.
A lot of people have
Quincy
said
Jones.
Quincy Jones is not one of the 20
Is Quincy Jones
smartest
alive?
people.
All right. Well, I'm at least filling up slots.
Do you need to produce music?
Music. If music be the food of love, let's solve some problems. Feed the world.
Not positive.
Quincy
that's a
Jones
quote.
worked on We Are the World, which fed 1 billion starving people.
Is that true?
It's a rough estimate, but it fed a lot of people.
Okay,
and
so
he
fine.
produced that, so that's smart.
We have J.K. Rowling working
Quincy Jones,
literacy. Quincy Jones
on
working
music.
foreign aid.
Stephen
it appears.
Hawking on the universe and the nature of
You
infinity.
initially started naming these 20 people specifically to help you tackle the deficit.
And 20 other problems that need solving that no one's solving. I'm talking about a dream team, all right? I'm talking about let's think outside the box. We've done it Washington's way. Why not do it the American way?
Why is that particularly?
I don't know. It felt right when I was saying it.
A lot of people have said that Barack Obama is a very smart man.
Yeah. Hire him.
Would you bring him back into?
Absolutely. I would put Barack Obama on my dream team.
Would that be a little awkward?
No, he has Clinton helping him, and he ruined his wife's dream. Do you think it's going to be more awkward than that? It's not like I took away. It would be like, imagine if I destroyed the vegetable garden and then tried to hire Barack Obama after like ruining his wife's garden and like I fattened up a bunch of kids. Then it would be awkward. But he hired Hillary Clinton and has Bill Clinton helping him after like ruining their lives.
All right. So what position would you offer Barack Obama in a Ratliff administration?
Like second president.
That's not a thing.
Not a thing.
You already have a vice president.
That's different. He doesn't become president if I get shot in the head. He's just a second president. No, without the.
Wait. This
Do you
is
want to create a new position?
No, he doesn't have any of the powers of the presidency, but he can come. He can sign up to come hang out in the Oval Office whenever he wants. If he signs up for a shift, he can have a room in the White House that's like a little office, and he just helps me out when I need help.
Hypothetically,
I'm gonna need help. I'm not too big to admit that.
For an undecided voter who may be watching this right now and
Yeah.
trying to decide in the next few hours whether they should vote for Connor Ratliff
You
or
should vote-
Barack Obama.
You heard it here. You should vote for Connor
No,
Ratliff
I
or
said
Barack
whether
Obama.
you should.
I am quoting you,
I
Sal Gentile,
I said
supposedly so above
trying-
it all, just said, undecided voters, you should vote, undecided voters, ... You should vote for Barack Obama
That's not
or Connor
what I
Ratliff.
said.
Well,
That's not what I said.
let's play back the tape because I'm going to edit it into a thing that works.
It won't-
Continue with your
carries
endorsement.
no weight with any voter.
enough.
For an undecided voter trying to decide whether they should vote for you or for Barack Obama, you just said that you would make him co-president. So
Yeah.
what reason is there to vote
Second
for
president.
2 for the price of 1.
What?
Hey, I'm going to buy this can of corn, or I could buy this can of beans that comes with a free can of corn.
I think
Which one should I buy?
Are you
Why
the
not-
beans or the corn?
I'm the beans. You buy the beans, you get the corn. If you buy the corn, you just get the corn. It's a deal that, yeah, I'd admit, if Barack Obama was offering me like a second chair kind of slot, like in a trial, you know when they have that second lawyer who doesn't do as much, but he's there or she's there, that's what he would be, just a helper president.
you
How about
want
that?
Obama to be a legal aid.
No, not a legal aid. Like just someone there, so like if I'm tired or I'm bored or I don't know what to do, that I could just be like, President Obama, help me out on this. I need 15 minutes of your time.
I think what Sal's getting at, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you've said that right now you have no real policies. Your main policy is to hire people to decide policies, and one of these people will be Barack Obama.
Yep.
So what is really, in your
What's the
corn
point of-
analogy,
yeah.
what are you adding?
What's the point of voting for Connor Ratliff if he's just going to hire Barack Obama to make all of the decisions a president would make?
This is so obvious. I can't believe you guys have a problem with this. 2 for the price of 1.
But you don't. But it's your analogy is beans and corn. It's more like corn
in an empty
and
can.
an empty can.
All right. An empty can is made of metal that you can recycle and you can make into a missile that can help win a war. It's not useless.
So basically, to summarize, the people should vote for you.
Yep.
Because not
Two
because
votes.
you're
James,
going.
do you want to throw in here? You just said the people should vote for me, James.
I'm not
You're
so
the only
easily
one who's
convinced.
like
I'm
playing it close to the vest. Everyone else is
I just
endorsing
want,
me.
for the record, I have not endorsed a presidential candidate.
That's okay. If you want to withdraw your endorsement, that's fine too.
I'm not.
That's your right.
I have no endorsements to withdraw. I've never endorsed.
The people should vote for you, not because you plan on adding something, but because you plan on offering Barack Obama a room in the White House
Yep.
and maybe hooking up with J.K. Rowling.
I never said anything about hooking up with J.K. Rowling.
Not in that
I'm not
sense,
against it.
Mr.
She's
Okay.
lovely.
In John's defense, it seems like a logical conclusion to draw.
That I only picked J.K. for the
No,
dream
no,
team?
no.
For that reason?
No, because the opportunity would be available to you.
I'm saying that I would have Obama there to help me, and if he has not extended that same offer to me.
How about Mr. Romney?
Oh God, I don't want anything to do with that guy. That guy's a loser. Everybody hates him. I promise I blow him to the moon if I need to.
So would you say if
Just I put him in a space capsule, I'd say, hey, go get your planet, and he'll do it if you put it. I bet you put a bunch of gold or money in a space thing, he will go right for it, and then you just lock the door down, blast him into space.
some people might consider that a threat, you might want to watch that.
That is a promise.
It's a promise that you will,
I will
send
blast
Mitt Romney into
Mitt
space.
Romney into space.
Right,
And
so-
let's find someone who isn't his wife or kids who has a problem with it.
So we've just identified a second potential scandal in a Ratliff administration. You just
My numbers would go
threatened a
through the
presidential
roof if
candidate
I
with
did that.
physical
Oh my
violence.
God, my numbers would go through the roof. I'm sorry for that. I just
There's
got
a
excited.
large number. Look, I'm just stating it as an empirical fact. There are large numbers of Americans who support Mitt Romney.
Yeah, and the second and they all got just suckered into it because they couldn't decide on anyone. Basically, the Republican voting electorate got so used to not compromising on anything that they finally met a process that didn't care whether they didn't want to compromise. And at the end of that process, they were down a blind alley with nowhere to get out, and all they were left with was Mitt Romney. They would be delighted if he was gone. They would care not one bit.
That may be true.
Yep. Another
that-
validation from
that
an
may
actual
be
journalist
true.
for something I just said.
A number of conservative voters may have preferred, say, Newt Gingrich or Rick Santorum, but that doesn't mean they're going to be okay with their new president sending their former nominee into space, presumably to die.
No, there's going to be plenty of porridge or whatever you want to put in that thing. He will survive and thrive outside of Earth. You'll probably be happier. And I'm going to put it on TV, and everyone's going to see this new president means business.
Will there be a live stream?
Yeah, there'll be a live stream. We'll put it on the net. You can listen to it on your mobile device. Whatever you want. I'm just saying, it's going to happen. I don't have a problem with it. Deep down, I know everyone in this room is on board with that.
I'm not on board
Not
with
on
that.
board.
All right, you can't say it.
Nobody at this table has
Full
endorsed
disclosure, everyone here is
any of
shackled to
Connor
their
Ratliff's
ethics. They
plans.
can't say anything.
Not shackled to ethics. I don't want to shoot Mitt Romney into space.
Neither do I. No,
Well, I guarantee you'll all be lining up and applauding when it happens.
I won't do that.
I really think that this is going to be an amazing time. I feel almost envious of you guys. You're going to get to cover my administration.
Well, thank
Can I
you.
be honest? Can I say that?
I don't
wanna
I'm gonna be
embarrass you guys.
completely
I don't
honest
wanna
with you.
embarrass you
I'm going to
guys.
be completely honest with you. I'm not preparing to cover a Ratliff administration.
Well, get prepared, all right? That's very candid of you to admit that you're not ready. But I think you
I'm
are. I
not-
believe
it's
in you,
not that
Sal.
I'm not ready.
You're a great journalist.
It's not that I'm not.
You are a great journalist.
I
Do not
think-
sell yourself short. I know we get into it, but I think you are ready to cover my administration.
I think I'm pretty competent as a journalist.
I think you're very
And
competent.
I think
too competent, if you want my honest opinion.
I appreciate your
we could,
compliment.
a little less competency would not go amiss. All right?
I don't. Okay.
All right, to maybe pacify things, I think we all three of us will say that we would like to thank you and your administration for the access we've gotten. It has been excellent.
Thank you
We
for.
appreciate the opportunity to
Thank
interview
you,
you.
Will. Thank you for referring to it as administration. That implies that I am going to be elected, because if you don't get elected, you don't get to have an administration.
Just a slip of the tongue.
A slip of the tongue reveals much.
It's just a slip of the tongue. I want to get back to the fundamental question at the heart of this, which is
Fantastic. I'm sorry I don't have smoothies for anyone else.
this is the second time you've eaten something or
The third
drank
time I
something
had
and not
mints and
offered anything to anyone.
I had mints. I had a cookie. I had
A meal and a treat.
what?
A meal and a treat.
How about this? I'm willing to open up the Altoids to anyone on the panel.
I will take it. Thank you.
Take an Altoid.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and
I guess I'll take an Altoid.
all right.
I don't want to compromise.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, you are winning the sweepstakes for most integrity on this panel because both these guys just got bought off with a mint.
I was not bought off.
I can't. I owe you no allegiance just because I took a tiny mint from you.
What would the headline be? I know MSNBC doesn't have like a cover, like everyone's like. What was that?
Cheese.
Everything's fine.
Sorry.
Do we have a security alert?
No need for security.
that?
I just
What was
popped
that?
a balloon by mistake.
Don't
There's
pop
no-
a balloon. I don't know my security guy here till this evening, so
You have no security till this evening?
yeah. Oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Stay away,
TV.
psychopaths. Because I don't want to see you until I have someone who can kill you with his hands.
Maybe you should say you were kidding.
What?
You were kidding about not having security.
I was not kidding about stay away, psychopaths. I mean it.
I was.
If let's say MSNBC was like Newsweek magazine. Eh? I just got a very serious message. Don't worry about it.
Can you tell?
Nope.
Is everything okay?
I can't talk about it.
Do you?
Can you talk about anything else?
No, just give me a. God damn it, James. Give me a second.
Should we just...
Just nobody do anything. I'm just processing what I was just told. All right. I'm gonna move on like nothing happened. Let's say
Okay.
cover of Newsweek magazine, January 2013. What's the cover say? Spitball it for me. What's the? I'm elected president. What's the cover of Newsweek magazine in January 2013?
Man who the vast majority of people did not know was running for president.
Too long a headline.
Elected-
Let's keep it punchy.
You're not even. All right, I didn't want to raise. I waited until now to raise this, but you're not even registered as a candidate for federal office in any way. It would be illegal for you to be elected president of the United States.
If I get 300 million votes, let's see them stop me. You
Fine.
honestly
Is
tell
that
me
a
if I get
threat?
300. No, I'm just saying. That's not a threat. I'm just saying when I get 300 million popular votes, do you think that people are really going to be messing around with these penny ante little scandals about Instagram and whether I'm on the ballot?
Or whether you're going to shoot Mitt Romney into space.
My numbers are going to go through the roof the second that it hits the blogosphere. Do you honestly think, even Mitt Romney's own wife, the second she hears that, part of her is going to be like, maybe.
You think Ann Romney...
That is Ann Romney. Like, I think if you asked her at first, her instant, like, reaction would be like, oh, no, don't do it. And then she'll sit with it for, like, 20 minutes. And I guarantee you, now maybe she'll get it together and, like, keep up the public facade. But I'm betting that some part of her is going to go, I could see it. I could see Mitt being blasted into space.
Is that what she sounds like?
I'm not Rich Little.
Okay,
Who is Rich
If you
Little?
want Rich Little,
he's an impressionist.
if you want Rich Little, elect Rich Little president. I'll say that. I'm not scared.
He's running just as much as you are at this point.
Not true. Is he on TV for 12 hours today? I don't think he's even on for 5 minutes today.
Do you,
Why do the cameras keep closing up every time I eat?
is there no way we can bring up you going silent for 10 seconds a few minutes ago?
I was told that I'm in danger.
What?
I was told that I am in danger. There. I didn't want to say
if
because
that's true, that's genuinely. I mean, that's important for people to know.
yeah, and look how quick I recovered and how brave I am now.
How are you in danger? Is there evidence of a threat against you?
You've been getting a little bit in my face.
I'm in no way a
Not
physical
scared of
threat.
you.
I don't pose a physical threat to you. I wouldn't be violent toward you or
If you
anyone.
and I'll tell you what the threat you would pose to me. You're sharp, you're a smart guy, and I think if we were romantic rivals, like for the heart of a woman, I don't think I'd stand a chance. I got a doughy face, and you're like a sharp-looking guy.
I guess I appreciate that compliment.
You know it's true. Even the glasses, you've got a Clark Kent thing going on, but they pretend Clark Kent is an attractive man, but it's Christopher Reeve with glasses. Or who's the other Superman?
Brandon Routh?
Yeah, they all look good in glasses, and you look good in glasses.
Thank you
So
very
don't
much.
worry about it.
Thank you.
Don't sell yourself short.
I
Newsweek magazine, January 2013. What's the headline if I'm elected?
If you're elected?
Yep. Make it shorter than his. He
Pigs
filled
fly.
up. Pigs fly?
Pigs fly.
Come on, John.
Ratliff elected.
Excellent.
Inauguration.
Was that hard?
No.
A little boring, a little dry.
constitutional crisis.
All right, exciting.
It's still, but
that's going to
terrible
sell.
for the country.
That's going to sell some issues in Newsweek. It's a trick question, by the
There
way.
won't be a Newsweek
Yeah.
in January.
Ah,
Yeah,
right, right.
There's not going to be a Newsweek cover.
Maybe I'll bring it back by federal mandate.
So right now, the things we've...
James, do you have a Newsweek headline cover story if I'm elected? All right, we got one guy who went for just the facts. Joe Friday. What was yours? Ratliff elected, inaugurated, air breathed by people. And yours was constitutional crisis, sexy, gonna sell some papers, a little bit of your famous muckraking there. Let's split the difference with Mr. Integrity.
So you need 300 million popular
votes. That's the story. That's what we're saying.
Is that a real thing?
300 million popular votes.
That would be a unanimous vote.
That's
Oh,
Is that true?
Someone just texted the show saying Sal is hot, validating what I said.
what I mean. Did that really happen?
Yep, apparently that really happened.
Okay.
I think it was just to Random Orlando, right? It was just a personal text to Random Orlando.
All right.
But
Fair. I thank you, that person.
I think we can all. John, would you agree with that?
Are you asking me if Sal is hot?
Yep. Is Sal hot? Hot or not?
I want to get.
He's,
I want
he's
to
a
get back
good-looking
to
man.
Sal's hot.
Will Hines?
Yeah.
Will Hines says it.
Definitely.
James? James is
you,
going to stay
Will.
on the fence. I can't prove it, and I have integrity.
I can vouch for Sal's hotness. That does
Wow.
not compromise
I feel
my
incredibly
position on you.
Used.
Self-conscious about this. I want to get back to. So far, we've established.
I want to get a Newsweek headline from James. I won with 300 million popular vote. A few of them were on Instagram, and there was a scandal about that. But they agreed. It's the will of the people. Spirit of the law, not letter of the law. This is going to be a spirit of the law election, not a letter of the law election. Does everyone know the distinction? Like in legalese, do you know the distinction?
the distinction is not supposed to disregard the letter of the law. The distinction is supposed to be as faithful as possible to the law by taking into consideration the intention in designing the law in addition to its plain text.
Look at us. We're like two members of the Supreme Court just sparring, dock and shop. Like I have one, it's like on the Supreme Court, there's always a guy who's like, I believe in this, and then there's someone else saying, no, I believe in the opposite. And together, they make America great.
Okay.
Headline?
When is your birthday?
August 27th, 1975.
So will you be 37 in January?
Yeah, 37. Now we're talking some issues. Thank you for bringing us back to something that means something. I'll still be 37.
What does that mean?
That means I'm old enough to be president. Are we on in 20 seconds? All right, it's gonna be cutting to us, and just ask your hardest questions if necessary. You know, but let's get that headline real quick. What do you think it is?
It's going to say old enough to be president.
Excellent. That's the same title as the documentary I made about my campaign. Old enough to be president. You'll be able to see it starting tomorrow night. I love that because that also promotes the documentary that I made.
I was not promoting the documentary you made.
I know you weren't. You wouldn't do that. That's the type of thing that I get a couple of mints in these guys and they'd do it.
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it.
You sure?
I'm sure I wouldn't do it.
All right, let's do this. Everyone go 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35,
35, 35, 35,
I'm gonna get some action in the shots.
35, 35,
Yeah.
35.
At this point, we cut over to the Chris Gethard show, which was in the middle of their own 12 hours of Election Day coverage. I've cut this 10-minute segment out of the footage here because a lot of it was summarizing the issues that we had discussed over the previous 23 minutes. One thing we did learn is that the robot computer-controlled cameras which were filming our webcast seemed to be drawn to the sound of my voice in addition to any movements that I would make. So that's why I will occasionally be featured in extreme close-up against my will. At the end of this segment, I was slightly annoyed because I felt that the journalists assembled had presented me in a negative light during our Gethard Show segment.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you're proud of yourself. Did you get it all out?
I don't know. I feel confident in my analysis of where the race stands.
I was looking at these during these. These are your presidential scenarios?
Yeah, let's go through some of these scenarios.
All right. Okay. These are just some that I had off the top of my head.
You wrote these down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you got to be ready. If you're going to be president, you got to be ready. First of all, the 35 thing, I've dealt with that. I mean, no one can say I haven't dealt with that.
But today, a lot of people say, for those undecided voters, they're just now starting to pay attention.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen you deal with it, so you should deal with it
I'm
again.
approximately 35. If you round to the nearest 5, 37 still goes to 35. If it was a year from now, 38, yeah, you can argue that bumps up to 40, but I'm still within the range of 35. I started running at 35. That's the brand. That's the number.
So you admit that your posters aren't accurate?
No, I'm saying in the same way that, like, a square is a kind of rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a kind of square. 35 is within 37. It's just like it's within my heart.
So the slogan now just means that you've achieved 35.
I mean, you were there at the press
Right.
conference when I said,
Right.
I'm like 35 and change. And that's been another slogan that's been very effective.
That I did think was a good slogan.
Do you want to counter with another endorsement?
I've never endorsed you. I never endorsed you.
Didn't you?
I did not.
All right, I just
didn't
asked.
endorse
I
you.
just asked a question.
Okay.
I just asked a question. Here's one of the scenarios: a UFO has landed. There are aliens, and they want to talk to you. Could happen.
Are you asking us?
Sure. Why, if you guys were president, how does this feel? Shoes on the other foot. I'm not going to make you guys do that. You guys are never going to be president. Probably. I'm just guessing, right? Do any of you want to be president?
I have a question.
Yep.
Isn't the journalists' attendance of this, of our headquarters, an endorsement of sorts?
Yes.
It's at least an endorsement of the validity of you as a candidate.
It definitely says. I'll just say this.
It says that you were a newsworthy candidate for coverage, and their attendance says, we deemed this worthwhile and valid.
It definitely says something. I won't say what. That's not for me to say. That's for the historians, the history writers to decide.
Well, I will agree with Mr. Hines. I do feel that the candidacy is newsworthy, not valid. I didn't say valid. Is newsworthy in that in your youth, in your affiliation with a popular TV show.
Thank you.
But mostly my attendance here says that, to be honest, none of the other candidates were in New York today.
You're the only candidate any of us has any access to. So that's the only reason we're here. If President Obama had invited us to interview him at the same time, we would have gone there, most likely, rather than coming here.
And probably, if Obama and Romney had both invited you, you probably would have gone to Obama too.
I would have tried to make it work schedule-wise.
No, the scenario is you have to choose. Obama and Romney are like, go to one of us.
I would have made sure somebody could go to one and I would go to the other.
They say only one person, and it's got to be you. And you can actually, you know what? I think you probably would go to Romney because he hasn't answered. Unlike me, who I'm willing to take as many of your questions as you're firing at me. Romney hasn't given an interview in like 23, 24 days.
No, you're right. That you make a good point. Honestly, he hasn't given interviews. The president gives many more interviews, offers many more specifics about his plans and how he would implement them.
I did a blanket. I don't know if you guys saw this. I did a blanket tweet yesterday that I said, "Media, I'm ready for interviews." You guys are the only ones that showed up for this because you're probably, and I don't want to flatter you, you're probably 3 of the best journalists in the world right now.
Can I
Thank you.
Can I ask I want to ask a question.
Sure.
Well, about the viability of your campaign. Didn't your pollster publicly is on record as having projected you as having receiving 0% of the vote? Isn't that true?
I project a 0% chance of victory, but we presume unanimous electoral votes. We project 0 and presume unanimous.
How are those two statements compatible?
Great question.
Yeah.
Project is based on data. The data implies that he will receive no votes.
Okay.
Since my polls have failed to find anyone who knows him, much less would agree to vote for him.
Okay.
So I project a 0% chance of winning. However, presuming is one, you can make assumptions based on anything you want, and the presumption is that, well, The votes have not been called for any candidate. They could be for Connor. There is a likelihood, no matter how small, within the margin of error of 0%, that he could win the electoral votes. This is on the internet. It's available technically to enough voters that could decide to vote for him. So we're presuming a unanimous electoral vote. So we have hard data otherwise. Projecting 0, presuming unanimous.
But you don't think he's going to win.
My projection is he's got a 0% chance of winning.
Okay, I just want to establish that empirically.
Have you ever heard of innocent, presumed innocent until presumed
Proven guilty.
presumed innocent until proven
Yeah.
guilty?
Yes.
Yeah, in
Presumed
France,
winner.
In France, we'd presume 0 electoral votes.
There is
Because
there's a place in France where the ladies wear no pants. And
Are you just doing an old children's rhyme?
no, but interestingly, there's also a structural defect. There's a hole in the wall where the men can see it all. That's true.
Do you want to continue going through these scenarios? Because I see the next one just says the White House is on fire.
Yeah, the White House is on fire. Not really a president's job.
No.
I will say this: in the same way that I'm presumed elected until proven unelected is the way we're approaching this.
okay.
Okay.
But all that's stating
Yep.
is that there are 538 electoral votes and none of them
We
have
don't
been
know.
cast
Nobody
yet.
knows what the outcome of this election is going to be, and anybody who says they do is playing with you. I'm the only one taking this seriously.
Okay. There's actual empirical data to suggest that we do know what the result is likely going to be. But
Well, yeah, but that's been called into question, and not just by me.
by supporters of Mitt Romney, who you yourself despise, you hate Mitt Romney.
Everybody, supporters of Mitt Romney despise Mitt Romney, all right? Find one person on planet Earth who likes Mitt Romney,
Well,
and I'll guarantee you his name is Mitt Romney.
I
and
would
even
say
then,
Ann
I'm not.
Romney, but you've already suggested she'd
Ann
be
Romney-
cool with him going into space.
Ann Romney thinks she likes him. The second she takes a breath,
Would you persuade her she doesn't?
you're trying to weave me into your little seduction fantasies. I mentioned J.K. Rowling, and you instantly assumed
does have a weird thing.
that wasn't me, right? I didn't say anything about having sex with J.K. Rowling, and you just broadcast it out. That's your dirty note.
We did you can't disagree that we discussed, yes,
You brought it up. You've got a thing.
in
You've
all
got a
fairness, well, no. I said hooking up, and I meant teamwork. You were the one who made hooking up mean something sexual.
No, I didn't make it that way. The youth of America made it that way. I'm sorry I'm so jacked into youth culture that I know what hooking up means, and you're in some outdated way of thinking about it in terms of hooking up landline phone service or something. Can't help it. I'm 37. What
Fine,
can I say? I feel young.
I will go on the record and say that Mr. Connor Ratliff has never claimed he will have sex with either J.K. Rowling or Ann Romney.
I haven't said I won't.
Okay.
So, I want to. I think this brings us back to the question of what you would do if you were president.
Great things.
Two of the things.
Great things.
You've only named
I
two
would
things
do
right now.
great things.
You've only named
Sal.
yeah.
Earlier, he said he would close Guantanamo Bay
Okay.
and turn it into a theme park.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Something.
Yeah, that's something he said earlier in this broadcast.
Okay.
And I said I would force Mike Love to reunite the Beach Boys, and I'd have them write a song, a Kokomo style Beach Boys
I
song.
think they're as united as they have ever been.
No, they just recently.
They were just touring with Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Mike Love kicked them all out of the band.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he surprised them.
He's an
and
asshole.
They
Oh,
were
really?
surprised with the press
Yeah.
release.
Jesus.
He fired Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys by press release.
Wow.
Mike Love, go away. No one wants you in the Beach Boys.
I think we can finally all agree. None of us at this table would rather have Mike Love than Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike Love's a genius. No one has ever said
Although
that.
I did see them recently in concert, and Brian Wilson was pretty.
Well,
pretty out of it.
he went crazy in the 60s,
Yeah.
and now he's like a huge disaster of a man.
Yeah,
But he's
not-
better than Mike Love. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
What kind of theme park would you turn Guantanamo Bay into?
Just a fun one.
Would it be
Just-
themed? Would it actually have a theme? Would it
No.
be like Six Flags, or would it be like Disney or something?
It
like
would
that?
just be a basic Six Flags Worlds of Fun style carnival theme park. Just island adventures.
Do you,
Sorry, I would like to point out, just for the fun of it, one of the myriad of problems with that plan, how would attendees get to Guantanamo Bay? It's purposely built to be difficult to get.
We get people there all the time.
Well, yeah, but you're building a mass entertainment complex.
Yeah.
How is a family of 4 from Idaho going to get to Guantanamo Bay?
The same way that we get terrorists there, minus the hoods and the shackles.
All right, we've been distracted by this ridiculous plan.
It's not a ridiculous plan.
Anyway,
it's a concrete. You want concrete
what makes
things.
you think that Americans of any political affiliation want that's a priority for them over, for example, cutting the deficit?
I said I would cut the
solving the
I
housing
said I would
crisis.
cut the deficit, Sal.
How would you create jobs, stimulate the economy, specifically stimulate consumer demand and solve the housing crisis? Those are fundamentally
All right,
important
hold on.
issues that
One at a
affect the
time.
lives of
One
everyday
at a time.
Americans.
One at a time. What was it? First
How
one?
would you stimulate the economy and create jobs?
Make people hire more people.
That's not you can't just order people to hire people.
Infrastructure. I'd add a bunch of infrastructure.
Okay, all right, that's
Yeah.
a legitimate.
Yeah.
Do you have a rough estimate of
Owned.
how much you would spend on infrastructure, how much you would dedicate to infrastructure spending, what kinds of projects you would support?
I gut the military.
You would gut it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a specific plan.
You want to
That's-
use that word, gut?
Yeah. What? They got guts, don't they? Let's gut them. Not bad, right?
Are you saying you would cut all funding for the military?
No, I would just like cut a shit ton out of it. You know, like they got way more money than they need. We got a big military. I'd cut a lot of it, and I'd use that money for stuff here. We're building stuff in other countries. We build stuff here instead. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Name three of the smartest people on Earth.
Okay. Stephen Hawking.
I already named him. Boom, do 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 do.
Right,
do.
he's working on fixing the universe and stuff.
2 more people.
Okay.
If he says Quincy Jones and J.K. Rowling, you guys are gonna buy me dinner. That is the deal.
Smartest people on Earth. How about Bill Bradley?
Bill Bradley. Bill Bradley, bring him on board. Who else? One more.
Who else is like really smart? Pedro Martinez.
All right, who's that?
Pedro Martinez is a former pitcher for the Boston Red Sox and the Mets.
All right.
Do you
let's-
regard?
He
Do you
learned
regard?
English. What's that?
Do you regard? Is he genuinely smart? Like
Oh
really
yeah,
smart?
he learned
Genuinely
English flawlessly, spoke sarcastically and with slang, memorized the habits of hitters all up and down the American and National
You do have to be
Leagues,
smart at least in a very specific way. To
navigated the culture of
successful.
baseball when he didn't speak the language, then learned the language, dominated it, negotiated awesome contracts for himself and his less talented brother.
Well,
Pedro Martinez is super smart. No
All right.
doubt about it.
All right.
He look crazy. He's got like.
are you
weird,
adding
little people
Pedro
friends, but-
Martinez to
Yeah,
your-
I'm gonna add Pedro Martinez to the dream team.
Okay.
I mean, most of these problems are not going to be solved by me. It's like, you know, when a president says, like, this election wasn't about me, it's about you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to delegate. I'm going to get the 20 smartest people on Earth. They're going to solve all the problems, and I'm the guy who hired them, so I get to be the president.
I just want to say this has been a genuinely productive.
Yeah.
We've got specific plans. You want to cut military spending.
Boom.
Increase spending on infrastructure projects in
Yeah,
order to stimulate
bridges
the
and shit.
economy. We've finally gotten to listing some of the things you would do.
Yep. And I sound pretty good on paper, don't I? You feel bad for doubting me.
Yeah. I doubt your viability as a candidate still. I don't think that you're going to get elected president, but these are specific plans that you're proposing.
How would you like it if I made you 3 the journalists in chief?
That's not a
not-
job that would.
Do you think the first question was, how are you going to create jobs? One of the ways I'm going to do it is by literally creating jobs. Second president, journalists in chief. Those are jobs. You think they come with salaries? Guess what? They do. And you're going to get that sweet, sweet money, put it in your bank accounts, and go all the way to the American future that you've dreamed of. Now, do you guys have a problem with the American future, or are you on board? Because I want an American future. Can I get everyone? Can we just end on this? Can I get everyone here to agree that they are on board for the American future,
As opposed to what?
as opposed to the living nightmare? Make a choice.
Those are the only
The
two
American
that's
future versus the
false.
The
living
living nightmare. Make a choice. And think about this. Do not answer this in a glib way. This is a serious choice. The American future versus the living nightmare. Which one are you going to endorse?
I vote future.
I vote future.
All right, the Peanut Gallery is saying American future. What do professional journalists say? What do my 3 journalists say?
I choose the American future.
1 for the American future. Who else will vote for the American future?
I guess I'm in favor of an American future. I don't know what that means.
I'll wave my hand over here so we get a camera shot on James. Okay, no. Yeah, there we go.
The American future.
All right, thank you very much. I know those aren't endorsements. I know you can't do that.
Thank you.
I'm not going to make you. If you want to, you can just quietly not say anything.
Wait, so in order to not endorse you, I have to keep talking?
I'll admit, I'm doing that little trick at the end of All the President's Men where they didn't understand the signal. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to explain whether silence or voicing something is an endorsement, but
You're purposefully making the signal confusing? Oh, you're not going to answer. Okay.
Okay, regardless of what happens, I'm not endorsing Connor Ratliff for president or anyone. I'm not endorsing anyone for president of the United States.
do you know what date this is today, Sal?
It's November 6th.
November
election
6th.
day.
And retroactively, when I'm president, I am going to make today opposite day, which means you just endorsed me. Thank you,
Just
gentlemen.
an hour
Thank
ago.
you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I hope that
you.
history will judge you fairly. I hope it judges me fairly. I can't thank you enough for coming by my campaign headquarters today. I hope you feel the history in the room.
The mint didn't affect my vote.
The Fourth Estate. God bless the Fourth Estate.
God bless the Fourth Estate.
Or whatever higher power you choose to believe, or the lack of one.
Will, I don't know that we can always hear you on the mic back there.
Gotcha.
Ladies and gentlemen watching on the internet, on your home computers and portable devices, I hope you enjoyed that Journalists Roundtable. I think that was probably the best journalism we've seen in our. I think that H.L. Mencken would have looked at that and probably would have been like, I got no complaints. And that guy complained about everything. And I think that would have been one of those times when you would have been like, H.L., why don't you tell those guys a new asshole for what they did? I think good old H.L. would probably speak up and say, you don't get it. You don't get it. That's what I was talking about that we should be doing. What those guys just did. Shame on you. H.L. Mencken.